And we're getting another live look from Skycam 6 at this backup. We still have southbound I-65 closed at 38th Street for the semi-fire and hazmat situation. This has been going on since our 5 o'clock hour of Good Morning Indiana. It took crews a while to get to this fire, to put it out and decide if they could use water on it due to the potassium hydroxide that had spilled on the roadway. We hear from Julie Pursley at the scene that they believe the semi hit an abandoned car, and that's what started this whole mess. Now, we do have a variety of detours for you this morning. I'm showing here on my Traffic Now map that traffic is starting to back up all the way to I-65, but we do have Shay Goodpaster up in Skycam 6. He's updating us on what's going on. Let's take a look here at our map, or excuse me, let's head up to Shay right now. Shay, can you tell me the best detour around this mess?
Well, Lauren, if you're already on 65 and you're past 465, I would take Lafayette Road. Now, keep in mind, like you told us earlier, there's that detour down at 30th and Lafayette Road. Just go back east to get around that, or west, and then down south a little farther. This is really slow. About Lafayette Road, they squeeze you down to about one lane. You see this right here? This is southbound 65. They squeezed from 3 lanes down to 1. It's moving, but it does get slower as you go on south here. Now, right there, they're diverting you on to 38th Street. If you go a little bit farther, there's Guyan Road. You can see there, not too bad. Traffic is getting through there just fine. Let's go a little bit farther south on 65, down to Kessler. Now that's getting a little bit more busy, so be safe right through there. It is slow, but you can get through, and obviously 38th Street going east is open, but you're going to be waiting a little longer.
And thank you, Shay. That's great advice for all of our viewers heading out from the northwest side this morning. Maybe you're coming in from Boone County, Hendricks County. But as Shay said, if you can avoid southbound I-65, you will want to do so. You don't want to get stuck in this mess. It's going to really slow you down this morning. So just be flexible, be safe, keep your eyes open for different routes. If you're on I-465, you may want to just take side streets, get off at exits to head eastbound towards the downtown area. Maybe use Michigan Road or even Meridian Street as detours this morning. Those are moving along okay. I want to take a look at our Traffic Now map right now. If we can pull that up, you can see the backup here. Again, Guyan Road southbound looked like it was moving along okay. So if you are on I-65 and you have to get off in that area at 38th Street, that looks like one of your best routes to take. But going away from this issue right now, we are following one other traffic issue right now. This one's way down towards Morgan County, southwest Johnson County. Our own Eric Cox is heading to the scene of a crash with injuries reported along State Road 144. We hear that multiple agencies are responding here. This is near State Road 144 and Farmer Road. That's near State Road 37. Now, there may be multiple agencies responding because this is kind of in between Bargersville, Martinsville, all the way down there, Mooresville. So a very busy area for the morning commute for drivers heading on 37 from the southwest side of town. We'll check in with Eric once he gets there, but I just wanted to make you aware of this other traffic issue we're following at this hour.
Lots to keep in mind. Thank you for that, Lauren. As we return to a big traffic mess on I-65 near the downtown area at 38th Street, we want to give you an update on what we know so far and where things stand. This is happening at I-65 at 38th Street. Right now, 38th Street is closed at that exit there.
That's right. This truck was carrying potassium hydroxide, and that was the real concern, that the fire burning could cause a dangerous hazmat situation. Crews were called out, and Julie Pursley has been on the scene since it was dark outside for about an hour and a half now. She has the very latest on what she's learning from firefighters, and she has a vantage point that is very unique to the situation. Julie.
What they're doing at this point is they're letting several of the drivers who have been stuck here in the southbound lanes of I-65 since just after 5:30 this morning go by one at a time, because they're actually starting to open it up so the folks that have been stranded here are starting to move along, but of course they're creeping by very slowly. They tell us this crash happened just after 5:30 this morning. What they think may have happened is that the driver of the semi hit an abandoned car that was parked off to the side of the southbound lanes of I-65. As for why that driver of the semi ended up going off over into the berm, they're still trying to figure that out. Now they say after he hit that car, they think that's when the fire may have started, and they say he traveled down the highway for about 100 yards, and then he was able to get out safely. Mark and Beth?
All right, Julie, thank you for that. We need to join again with our Good Morning America audience and give them an update on RTV6. We'll be pausing for that here in just a moment. Actually, we'll then take you right up to Skycam 6 for live pictures of the scene there. This is where crews are diverting traffic.
That's right. Again, a semi-fire backed up traffic here for miles. And we're going to take this live on RTV6 and Good Morning America.
That's right. We also want to get an update on how to get around this. We see that the detours are already set up in place. You see the orange trailer there with signs explaining what is ahead, the situation ahead, and for drivers to prepare to get off at 38th Street to get around this. Let's get to Lauren Casey in our Traffic Now Center for a look at the maps. Lauren.
And Mark, again, southbound I-65 closed at 38th Street. This has been the case since about 5:30 this morning. Take a look at our map. You can see that southbound I-65 backed up. So if you can avoid that interstate coming in from the northwest side of town, you should do so. But you can also get off at 38th Street, head eastbound. You can also take southbound Guyan Road as a detour or Michigan Road this morning. We're keeping you updated on all the detours on Twitter, so make sure you follow me at Lauren_Casey. Also, way down in Morgan County, we know that the intersection of 144 and Farmer Road near Highway 37 is closed for a crash. We'll continue to keep you updated.
A live look now at the burned out shell of this semi-tractor trailer. There it is on your screen. It burned for quite some time, starting about 5:30 this morning. Firefighters tell us they think it hit an abandoned car about 100 yards back, and that charred line behind it is where it kept driving until it finally came to a stop.
We've also learned several departments, firefighting departments, were on this trying to get those flames under control. They burned bright and the smoke plume was extensive. We are continuing our coverage on the RTV6 app, theindychannel.com, and on HTSN. Continuing coverage here of breaking news that we're following. I-65 shut down at 38th Street. The southbound lanes backed up for miles after a truck catches fire. That truck was carrying its cargo, potassium hydroxide. And
Skycam 6 has been keeping a close eye on what's happening here from the sky and giving us a very unique vantage point of the backup. Let's get to Skycam 6 and Shay Goodpaster. Shay, has it thinned out at all yet?
Beth, no, there's no improvement up here. This is going to be like this for a while, as you can guess. We do have some updates, though. They let the semis that were all through this area on 65 southbound, they let the last one through here about a minute ago. So that's good news for those guys. They've been out here since, I would say, around 5:45 is when I got the call to head down here and fly over here with pilot Tony Scott. Now let's go north on 65 here. Northbound lanes are just fine. I'll zoom in right here. This is 38th Street where they're having a lot of the traffic divert to. This goes right over 65 right here. Slow, but it is moving eastbound, so that's good news, Beth. Find a detour. It's going to be backed up for a while.
And Shay, right now in the Traffic Now Center, I'm monitoring those detours you have been mentioning. Just expect delays even on 38th Street, the main detour through this area. You can see southbound I-65 at a standstill almost all the way back to I-465. So if you're heading in from the northwest side of town, just avoid this interstate. This will really slow you down on your commute, and it may take a while. Julie Pursley mentioned earlier that they were letting the drivers that have been stuck here all morning long close to this semi-crash, they've been letting them through, so one lane of traffic there getting through, but they'll probably close that back up as they work to investigate this crash, clean up the rest of this mess. Again, this is a hazmat situation, a more serious situation than what we have with just a normal crash. They don't want to open that up until they know it's safe for other drivers. So we're going to keep you updated on this. Let's take another live look right now at that backup from Skycam 6. We've been flying over this since about the time that it happened, and Shay's been giving us updates. He tells us Guyan Road heading southbound has been moving along okay this morning. 38th Street is a possible detour, but again, it's backed up. Lafayette Road is a detour until you get to 30th Street where we have construction. You'll want to follow those detour signs, but if you can, stay on 465, take Michigan Road or Meridian Street to get into downtown this morning.
This ends our live coverage this morning on HTSN and also on the RTV6 app and theindychannel.com. We do want to tell you, though, we're going to continue to monitor this situation. We know many of you are stuck in it for the morning rush hour. Check Twitter, also the RTV6 app for any updates. Again, we're hoping for improvement, but at this point, Shea Goodpaster up in Skycam 6 tells us no thinning out of the traffic. It continues to be backed up and it continues to be slow.
And let's give you another resource. If you go to the IndyChannel.com, you can always have access to our in-dot traffic cameras. And the traffic camera you want to keep your eye on is the one at I-65 southbound at 38th Street. There is a camera pointed directly at this incident, and you can always get the latest view from that. You can see the backup right there. You can see the emergency crews flashing. This has been RTV6 continuing team coverage of breaking news on I-65 that have startled the morning commute. We're back with you on RTV6 at 7:56.